Wow. All right, hey everybody, it's me back again for my lovely, this is going to be especially lovely, post-market wrap-up on this Wednesday, October 3rd, 2018. All the action today, I mean seriously, was in the bond market. Some hairy stuff going on with regard to the 10-year yield. I want to cover that. Very important. So let's start off with the basics. Yes, yet again, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed at a new record high. However, the Dow Jones Industrial Average cut its gains in half as the U.S. 10-year yield started to melt up. This should show you how important it is to watch the bond market. When I did my market report this morning, I hope you got a chance to see that, the U.S. 10-year yield was around 3.08. Bonds sold off hardcore. U.S. 10-year yield zoomed up to 3.17. When that happened, stocks cut their gains in half. This, again, should show you how important it is, the relationship between the debt market, the largest aspect of this market, of them all, and stocks. And it all depends on the dollar. You know that. I got a little shook up today. I was putting a lot of posts out telling people they should be very cautious here. And you can see I was telling people not to add to their longs. And absolutely nailed it. If you would have bought at that time, you would have bought at the market high. I want to talk about that in a moment too. So again, stocks finished higher but well off their highs. Dow Jones Industrial Average cut its gain in half. As some crazy action in the bond market. Bond market was very unstable today. 10-year yield all over the place. However, if you were watching the bond market price action on my website, that live chart I have for you, and I know a lot of you were writing to me, you had to be laughing your freaking rear end off, because when the U.S. 10-year yield hit 3.17, that was it. They couldn't take it anymore. Some entities started buying up those bonds. The 10-year yield came down to about 3.15. At one point, stocks, actually the NASDAQ went negative. The S&P 500 went negative at one point as the 10-year yield started to climb. Dow Jones Industrial Average almost went negative. But as soon as they started buying up those bonds, what happened? Boom. Stocks came back up, recouped some of, well, again, they finished down substantially off their high. The relationship between the bond market, the debt market, and stocks is profound. And you know, you got the Confederacy of Dunces over here. They're parading out, fool after fool, trying to explain to you that, oh yeah, stocks can rise right here with the 10-year yield. Really? No, not really what happened today. Did you watch the bond market, you freaking idiots? I guess not. Look, they're out there. They're trying to, blow sunshine up your crack with the biggest light that they can possibly find, like on the top of the Luxor out here in Vegas. They wish they had a light that big. It's incredible, it is. Gold finished down, and silver finished down because of the dollar strength today. Cryptocurrencies got hit pretty much across the board. Okay. We really do have to keep our eye on this bond market. Let me refresh everyone's memory here. Earlier this year, March, I believe it was, Alan Greenspan, regardless of what you may think of this guy, let me finish, explained to everyone that the bubble that exists in the debt market is epic. Who does that sound like? I guess Mr. Greenspan watches my work. He's probably been at it for a while. It's incredible. And he also explained that there was a potential for a rapid sell-off in the bond market. Who does that sound like? I mean, it's almost like he takes the words from my mouth here. No secret. The debt market is the largest bubble the world has ever seen by exponents. I think that some of the selling that we witnessed today, if they didn't get in here and start propping this up, it would have started to feed on itself. You would get a wave of selling in the debt market, yields would spike, pressure on stocks. You witnessed some of it today. I mean, I'm not pulling this out of a hat. This is how it works. It's crazy. Now let's just go back to the market a little bit. In the video I did earlier today, I explained to you that I opened up a credit spread on Qualcomm. I explained to you how I structured that trade. It's actually on my website right now. I also explained to you when the market was at its high of the day, be very cautious. I even tweeted, think long and hard before adding to your positions at that time. Again, this was the high of the day. When stocks got kind of low today, I did jump in and do something. Maybe I shouldn't have, but it's a very safe trade. About 5 minutes before the market closed, I didn't even add it to my website yet. I did open a new credit spread on Bank of America. Specifically, I'm looking at my trades right here on my sheet here. I sold October 12th, this is next Friday, 29 puts. And to set up the spread, I bought, again, October 12th, same day, 27.5, $27.50 puts. Little spread there. I think it's very safe. If it goes against me, I will close it before it gets anywhere near the money. You know that. That's the way you play these things. So, and again, I bought that kind of when we were coming off of the lows here. So I feel pretty safe, at least today. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Without saying another word here, you know exactly what to do. You know exactly where you should be looking here. It's completely at the bond market. Ignore the confederacy of nice people. I was going to say something very bad, but I'm not going to do that. Let me X out of this page real quick. It's annoying me. And anyway, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out here, people. There's no doubt about it. But understand this, at its core, lying at its core, our governments run amok, run by madmen all over the world. I'm not singling out any one person here. For all of you, they're going to get offended here. The leaders of the world, every single one of them is a slave to their central bank here in America as well. It will not change until we hit that wall. We are going to hit that wall. And it's going to end more than likely in a worst case scenario. And you can only imagine what that means across the spectrum of everything. It doesn't, these trade imbalances that have existed since time immemorial, any corrections of them won't matter. It will not matter if we become a net exporter of oil. I mean, if we end up in a worst case scenario here, think of what that means. That would mean that we've had a debt default, something along those lines. The bills in your pockets will lose purchasing power overnight like you would not believe. I mean, it will evaporate. We'll have a credit freeze. You'll lose your job that exact day. There'll be no transactions. Doesn't matter. Nothing will matter at that particular time. And unfortunately, it looks like we're staring right into that abyss. So we can sit here and listen to our president brag about the stock market as he continues to spend into oblivion, more so than his predecessor. And you can say what you want to say. It's not going to make any difference down the pike. He's inflating bubbles worse than they've been inflated before, trying to explain to people that this is as good as it gets. We've never been so good before. This is why people are now hitting another record high with regard to consumer debt and household debt. They're being misled. Unfortunately, the middle class is going to be decimated, worse than they were before, as they're fist-fed a plethora of lies, not just from our president, but from leaders around the world who have no choice, again, to put their central banks again at the top of that pyramid and have them try to prop everything up until we hit that wall. That wall is coming. Every day we march forward and closer to that wall. And what we witnessed today with the 10-year yield was just a fraction of how bad this can get. If we get an uncontrolled sell-off in the bond market, which is going to happen, there's no doubt about it. The debt is in a bubble that cannot be described. It just can't. It's beyond anyone's imagination. It's the truth. And connected to it, and the derivatives, it's a nightmare just waiting to unfold on the people of the world. So get yourself ready. Do not put your faith, and there are a lot of people that claim to be, of the faithful here. Do not put your faith in any human being that walks on this planet. You're asking for a lot of trouble. That's the truth. Anyway, with that said, this has been one for the books here, hasn't it? Please share this video. Get it out there. I always appreciate that thumbs up. Makes me feel good. I will see you in the morning.